If your home has even one of these things inside, you're not just turning buyers off, you're giving them a reason to pay you less or completely walk away. The biggest threats to your home sale are not noisy neighbors or a soft market. It's actually what buyers see and what they smell the second that they walk through your door. And the truth is, most sellers, they don't even realize what they're leaving out in plain sight. I've seen homes sit for weeks, even months with no offers, and then sell within days, simply by removing just one or two things that seemed harmless. But here's the thing. It is not about spending more money, all right? It's about understanding how buyers think and how these small overlooked details can trigger hesitation, or worse, total rejection. And so in this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 things that you should never have in your house when it's on the market for sale. And this isn't just theory either. This is based on real-world experience, real buyer feedback, and real mistakes that have cost sellers time, stress, and literally thousands of dollars. And make sure you stick around until the end, because the last one that I'm going to share, it catches a lot of sellers off guard. And most of them, they think that they're doing themselves a favor by doing it. But in reality, they're actually shooting themselves in the foot. Now, it's one of the biggest deal killers, and most sellers, they don't even realize it. So the first one is artificial scents and Febreze. Now, this one came up quite a bit in the comments from my original video that I did on this very topic. Febreze and artificial air fresheners are a big deal breaker for many buyers. You see, the thing is, most people, they think that they're helping matters by making the house smell all nice, right? But to buyers, it often smells like you're trying to cover something up. The truth is that strong scents, they make people suspicious. And for some people, it's more than just that. It's also a health issue. You see, strong artificial scents, they can trigger allergies, asthma, and chemical sensitivities. And when the first thing that a buyer notices is the air freshener, you've already lost their trust. So you always want to make sure that you go natural, okay? So just open the windows, let the house breathe a little bit. And if you need to, you can sprinkle some baking soda on the carpets. That's going to help absorb any of the possible odors that might be in there. And just let it sit for a bit, and then you can vacuum it up. And for the kitchen or maybe pet odors, the easiest thing to do to neutralize those smells is to use vinegar. The idea here is that your house should smell clean and fresh, all right? Not like you're trying to mask anything. And if you're not sure if your home smells, just ask somebody who doesn't actually live there. Because chances are, you've gone nose blind and you simply have become accustomed to the smells in your home. Speaking of smells, here's another one that buyers pick up on very fast, and that is pet odors. You see, pet smells are one of the biggest turnoffs for buyers. So again, you might not notice them anymore because you live in it day in and day out. But buyers, they definitely will. In fact, I've had sellers who didn't even try to hide their pets whatsoever, but they kept their home spotless, and it was clutter-free, and it sold quickly. And that's the difference. So it's not about hiding your pets necessarily. It's about showing pride of ownership. So if you do have a pet, you want to make sure that you deep clean the carpets and the furniture and then vacuum daily. And then during those showings, ideally, you're going to want to remove any signs of those pets. So the crates, the toys, the food bowls, the litter boxes, and any pet hair that might be on the sofa. Okay. And if you can, also have them stay with a friend or a family during any of those showings. And also, make sure that you take care of any damage caused by the pets, such as scratched doors, chewed up trim, carpet stains, etc., etc. Those are red flags that cause buyers to wonder what else is wrong with this house. Now let's shift from smells to security, because this next one, it's about more than just the sale. It's about your safety. And this is a big one, okay? So you need to lock away anything that could tempt someone during a showing. So things like jewelry, watches, loose cash, passports, small electronics, get all of those types of things out of sight. I'm not saying that everyone coming through your home is going to be dishonest, but open houses and showings, let's face it, they can attract those who are just looking for an opportunity. And you want to keep in mind that even your listing photos can be risky, okay? Thieves, they can zoom in, they can look around for clues. So anything that's valuable or irreplaceable, lock it up or take it with you. And this is a very real thing that we're talking about. Remember Matthew Perry? He played Chandler on the show Friends, right? Sadly, he's passed away now, but a few years back, he actually admitted in an interview with Diane Sawyer that during his addiction, he went to open houses specifically to steal pills from bathroom cabinets, and even joked that people would probably think that there's no way that Chandler came in here and stole from us. But he did. And he wasn't alone either. Shady people posing as buyers just to raid medicine cabinets is a real thing. So this isn't paranoia, okay? It is a real risk. So just make sure that you take your prescription meds with you or lock them up. And while you're at it, remove any sensitive paperwork, things like bank statements, tax returns, divorce papers, or any personal notes, all right? Because some things, let's face it, you just don't want strangers knowing about your private life. Next up, let's talk about something that is technically harmless, but has a huge emotional impact on buyers. And that is family photos, memorabilia, and personal touches. So you want to remove all of that stuff, okay? And that's because buyers, they need to picture themselves living in your home. And if they're surrounded by your family photos, your diplomas, religious symbols, or collections, well, it's going to remind them that this house, well, it still belongs to someone else. So take it all down. Take down the wedding photos, the political stuff, kids' names on the bedroom doors, even your dog's name if you have it on the wall, maybe above their feeding tray. You want to do your best to create a blank canvas, okay, where buyers can start to imagine their own lives unfolding. And this, by the way, isn't just my opinion. Studies by the National Association of Realtors, they show that staging, especially depersonalizing, such as removing your personal photos and keepsakes, it's going to make it easier for buyers to envision themselves living in your house. And it's a matter of privacy also, okay? Because, do you really want strangers, possibly with ill intent, to know about your personal life, including how many kids you have or maybe what school they go to? Now, depersonalizing is just the first step, all right? Because even once all of the personal stuff is packed away, there's something else that can still overwhelm buyers, and that is clutter. Yes, clutter. Clutter makes your home feel smaller, okay? And what buyers really want to feel when they walk through your home is space and more of it, okay? Now, even in a bigger home, if the closets are jammed full, the counters are covered with things, and the garage looks like it's a storage locker, buyers are simply going to assume that your house does not have enough room. So what I would suggest to you is that you start packing up all of those things that you don't use every day and just get them out of the way. Put them in boxes and put them in storage if you can. So you're going to want to clear out the closets and the cabinets so that they actually look like there's room to spare. And then remember, buyers always open the doors, okay? They open the doors, they open the drawers. So make sure you tidy those things up as well. And then step back and take a look at your furniture, okay? If a room feels too tight, pull out that extra chair. Maybe there's a side table in there, maybe that extra shelf. You really just want to let that room breathe, okay? Let the space breathe a little bit. The goal here is to create a home that feels open, organized, and easy for buyers to picture themselves in. All right, next up is signs of your personal situation. Now, here's one that is really easy to miss, but savvy buyers, they often will notice. So if you're going through a separation, a divorce, or you've already moved out, do not let your home give that story away. Small things like maybe a single toothbrush on the counter in the bathroom, maybe just one nightstand by the bed, or a half-empty closet, that can send a message that you might need to sell quickly. And when buyers pick up on that sort of thing, they're going to test you with lowball offers. Instead, you want to try and keep everything looking balanced, okay? So leave clothes on both sides of the closet, keep toiletries on both sides of the vanity, and just create that appearance of stability. So the buyers, they stay focused on your home itself and not your personal circumstances. And while appearances matter, it's not just what the buyers see. It's often how they feel the moment they walk through that door. And sometimes the biggest distraction of everything is going to be you, the seller yourself. Now, I understand that it's uncomfortable to hear that, but this part is really critical. And a lot of sellers, they totally get this wrong. So please do yourself a favor and don't be in the home during showings. Now, I understand it can feel a little bit strange having strangers walk through your house, but if you are there, buyers simply will not relax, okay? They're not going to linger and they're not going to explore freely. And they're definitely not going to open up to their agent about what it is they like or they don't like. And even worse, you might say something that weakens your position. Something like, we already bought our next place, or maybe, we hate the strata. They have way too many rules here. Buyers remember all of that, and it could either cause them to run in the other direction or use it against you in your negotiations. So do yourself a favor and just let your agent handle that, okay? That's what they're there for, and they're going to know how to show your home without revealing too much. But here's the thing. None of this advice is going to matter whatsoever if you don't understand the type of market that you're selling into. Because what works in a hot market can backfire in a slow one. And not knowing the difference, well, that can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. So make sure you watch this next video popping up right now, because I'm going to show you how to read today's market and use it to position your home strategically. If you don't, well, you could end up sitting on the market, making panic price cuts, or attracting lowball offers that you can't afford to take. Now, if you have any questions or you want to chat more about this, feel free to reach out. There is a link in the description box below. Otherwise, I will see you on the next video.